But then the compromise took place. So I came home, and by the grace of God, man, I was walking on point. But I began to notice that not just, we can't blame everything on Satan. And I think sometimes we can tend to do that. Of course, is there, demonic, spiritual attack going on in the supernatural? Facts, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I know it was just me and my fleshly desires trying to conjure up some ways that I could like get out of pocket and enjoy the pleasure of sin of sex without fully having sex. So number one, I realized and identify. I didn't identify it in the moment, but I see it now looking back, having hindsight, that being in prison for so long and having very brief interaction with women. I was in a relationship in prison, with a woman for some time, and I did have some communication with a couple women from time to time, on and off throughout my bid. But for the most part, or the majority of the bid, it was just a small window. So just being separate from women, besides like the women officers or the women food service workers, which, like I said before, could be a temptation and was a temptation for me at times, but still being confined with nothing but men, apart from society for so long. Obviously, like, yo, like you're fiending for, intimacy with the woman, not just sexually, especially, me being super sexually active previously, but just the conversation, the companionship, the relationship, and especially now, just growing in maturity in my relationship with God, desiring a godly wife, a home, wanting those simple, normal things coming from a chaotic life, just desiring that so badly that coming home, I was super thirsty. And I was thirsty for those things. And those things are good. It's good to have a desire for a wife, and have a desire for sex. It's God made, for procreation and for marriage. And even for just the intimacy and the relationships with women, even female friends. Like, I was desiring that, but I was so thirsty and wanting that so bad that I was unwise with my communication with women. Just talking to women, getting to know them, not with no ill intent, to have sex or to lead even in that direction. But I think that's where the unwise moves, started happening. But then I began to compromise like over time, in these specific relationships and with some of these girls because, as I'm getting to know them, they're getting to know me. And just, me working like a long week, or being tired, or just, being, having testosterone and sexual desires and urges, I would see myself beginning to compromise, though I'm not having sex fully, kissing, touching, going in the route of foreplay, and that's where the compromise began. And, and obviously too, I forgot to mention, and obviously began with porn too, and that being like a consistent battle and an area of my life that I fight and I wrestle with. And that was a compromise. I ain't having sex now. I'm not like going outside completely the will of God to where I have to sit down in ministry, but I'm just wrestling with pornography, and I'm talking to this girl, or that put pause for a minute. I'm talking to this girl or that girl, and we're getting to know each other, or we may kiss, or we may go in the direction of foreplay, but I ain't have sex, so that was a compromise. But then obviously, I fell, and it was